Hello, YouTube. All right, I just got gassed up and I'm getting ready to head out back out to the Orlando VA, back to Neurology to try to figure out what the heck is wrong with me. It's like they got me non-stop scheduled to have all these various doctor visits, and so far they don't seem to be finding anything, which is getting me to the point where I'm thinking maybe I'll just let it go, you know? Try to heal myself, because it's interfering with work. Obviously I have to take the day off or whatever to drive out to Orlando. I should be working right now. Hopefully Neurology will know. They did the MRIs, the CATs, well, it was the CATs MRIs, and they sent me the results, and from what I could tell, they didn't really see anything wrong. They saw some issues, but they said it's normal for old people like me. As you get older, those of you who are young, be warned. Take good care of your body, but especially your teeth. But as you get older, you start to break down, you know, your spine, your back, your whole body starts to fall apart. So take care of yourself. that's all I will say. If you're watching it and you're in your 30s, you're in your 20s, take care of yourself. And if you're in your 40s and 50s, continue to take care of yourself. And I'm sure you're starting to understand where I'm coming from at that age. Anyhow, I am heading out, taking the day off. I hope to, I don't even know what they're going to do in Neurology. I don't know if they're going to meet with me and talk to me, or if they're going to do some more tests. I have no clue. But I'm planning on just try to close this window. I hope the noise wasn't too loud earlier, but basically, I hope this is the last scheduled visit in a long time, because they basically had me scheduled for like 15, 20 different appointments. Not just Neurology, but the eyes, and then the regular checkup. So I was constantly having to go to the VA, not just the local one here in Brevard, but the one in Orlando. And that makes it hard to do anything or plan. Matter of fact, like even Little Blue 2, the mechanics over at Express Tech Auto have volunteered to look at the AC conditioning and attempt to try to fix it without charge to me, which is like incredible. But they're going to try to take a look at it. I just haven't been able to get the vehicle in there because I'm running to the clinic and I'm working. Some of you were saying to keep the job at the Kennedy Space Center, and that is a plan, but the problem is, I don't think you're understanding, I'm with the temp agency, and so as long as they have the assignments, I can be there, but when they don't have the assignments, obviously I can't go in to work there. I am going to be applying for a more permanent type position over there, as well as continuing the software development. I'm going to try to finish up the classes, which I haven't had time to take. I mean, I've been taking it, but I haven't had time to actually work on it due to being at work all the time and running to the clinic. But as soon as I can, I do intend to finish up the C# class, and then probably I think I'm going to jump into, I don't know if they have a web developer class, which I may look up and try to get that, and of course HTML5, JavaScript, and of course databases, because I think those are important. But actually, if I could learn database programming on a server, I do have access to a server for my hosting of my website. I could actually start some web development and just do my own stuff, maybe even put up my own games, multiplayer games, because you know that's the big trend now is multiplayer. So those are issues or possible paths. I'm at a junction in my life where I actually, for the first time in a long time, have some choices that can make a huge difference. And I think that if I can touch up my skills and make them relevant, you know, the technology skills, I may be able to even make work for myself if I can't find someone to hire me. So that's what I've been, you know, playing through my mind, the different scenarios. In the meantime, the applications are still continuing to go out. I think the biggest thing is just getting the skill set, having the skill set, the experience. I do have some experience, which helps. You know, a lot of technology type jobs. The check engine light just came on, but a lot of the technology jobs, they want you to have the skill set. You know, I think that even overrides having an actual degree. But for the requirements and stuff, when they list the jobs, they normally list the degrees, and of course I want to know how much you know. So it just depends on the job. And if it's like for the government, like a lot of times it's contracting work for the government, they have specific requirements, very strict requirements. So I don't know if my skill set is going to be enough, but I do know that if I do manage to help the air here, just turn on the air, I hope it's not too loud. But I do know that if I get my skill set up, I can at least do my own work, and that's the plan, is to try to go in a route that will try to get me back mainstream working, and if that's not possible, it's at least a skill set that I can use to start myself back up and try to get my software company going again. For those of you interested in my software, I have done stuff that has made it all the way up to the Internet Archive. If you look up the Internet Archive project, the Games Archive, I have several of my games up there. Legend of the Silver Talisman and Munchman. So those were really old DOS games that have been put up there. They were written in 1990s. That's how far back we go. And I do have some new projects, but they're kind of on limbo, you know, on hold. It's an issue of sitting down and coding, but with the job search and everything else going on, and trying to take the classes and stuff, it's not an easy thing to do when you're not in a sticks and bricks, let me put it that way. But that is the plan. I do appreciate all of you who have been helping me, giving me pointers, all of you who donated to the GoFundMe. It is helping me. Some people have suggested that I should raise the amount, you know, the goal for the GoFundMe, because I only put a cap of $2,000. Because they pointed out that $2,000 really isn't going to get me much of a better vehicle than I have right now, which is a little Blue 2, which, you know, is having all sorts of serious issues. So I'm contemplating raising that to a more reasonable amount, but you know, we haven't even reached our $2,000 goal, although we are up to, I think, about $750 or so, roughly $760 at this point, which to me is like, you know, it's very heartwarming to know that strangers, pretty much, or some of these people aren't really strangers, they're my friends that I see on here on a regular basis, and some have been in contact with me even outside of YouTube, but care enough to give their hard-earned money to try to get me into a new vehicle, a new home. So I currently don't have enough money to really even look at a vehicle. I started to look, but it's like, you know, the vehicles I'm looking at, they have pretty much a lot of issues. Some of them, most of them don't even run. Like, they have motors that have transmission issues, or head gaskets, you know, overheating. A lot of them, some of them even have the engine removed or components all taken out of the vehicle. That's what we're looking at in the sub $1,000 range for a vehicle. I did find a couple that were a bit over $1,000 that I'm really giving thought to, which is another Dodge Grand Caravan or Chrysler Town and Country, which was a very similar vehicle to this, and contemplating basically making a little Blue 3 or a little White 3 or whatever, you know, with a red one, ruby red, but contemplating getting another vehicle that pretty much is the same vehicle, but I could, of course, run into the same problems. Now, they generally have lower miles in this one because this one has 358,000 plus, but they were at about 190 to 250,000 thousand miles. Those were the vehicles I was looking at, and some of the vehicles had over 400,000 miles, which, you know, they say they're well cared for, but 400,000 is almost 500,000, which is, this vehicle doesn't even have 400,000 and it's falling apart. So there's a very high risk of the engine having some major issues coming up, which may be why they're getting rid of it. I don't know if the vehicles are still running well or not. They say they are, but you know, a lot of times you buy these vehicles off Craigslist. They say they're running well, and a week or two later, it's dead. You just threw away your money. There's no refund. You know, you kind of just lost your money. So I'm a little weary of jumping into that, although I have started looking at vehicles. But honestly, I think I'm going to have to follow the advice of the viewers who are suggesting to try to raise the amount to actually try to get something that's halfway decent, you know, versus basically getting another little blue type vehicle, which is what I have. And some of you say, well, why didn't you get something better? Well, it has to do with finances. You know, you get what you can afford, and as some of you have commented or suggested, you know, it's better to have a house with a whole leaky roof than to not have a house at all, you know. So having a vehicle is shelter from the elements, especially one that runs. If you didn't have a vehicle, you'd be out on the street. And if you had a vehicle that didn't run, at least you have shelter until the police or whatever, the city, comes and starts giving you a hard time about your vehicle not moving. And then they can impound it, try to fine you, and do all sorts of nasty stuff to you. But if you have a vehicle that runs, you're already better off than a lot of people who are pretty much homeless on the streets. So, you know, I'm grateful for that. And even though Little Blue has a lot of issues, most of them have been fixed at this point. Having air conditioning would be like amazing, because, you know, I haven't ever had air conditioning in this vehicle, and most vehicles that I get don't have air conditioning because I'm in the price range of cars that are kind of falling apart. So even though Little Blue 2 is at the end of her lifespan here, she is still, you can see, taking me all the way from Brevard County out to the Orlando, VA, which is like about a 60-70 mile ride. And she's still running pretty well, especially since she had the brakes done and the tie rods. You know, so very grateful to Charles, very grateful to the viewers who contributed. Some other people did send money to help with the repair funds, and we're grateful to Express Tech Auto. They did a lot of the work for free, you know, so very kind mechanics, very kind folks all out there. I do appreciate all of your thoughts, all your concerns, and just wanted to give you an update. I will fill you in on what happens at the Neurology today, later, after I get out of there, obviously, if they tell me. If not, I'll just let you know what happened. But for today, that's the big plan. So until next time, everyone, thank you for joining in. I do appreciate your kind words and support. I want to let each and every one of you know that I do think about you as my viewers, and I know that a lot of you are possibly in a worse situation than I am, and I understand that, and really do think about you and pray for you and wish nothing but goodness going your way. So until next time, everyone, stay blessed, take care, bye-bye now.